Okay, this is an exercise, and we start with this right off the bat. It's called the Rose, the Trumpet, and the Hot Day. It's one in which you're going to close your eyes and you're just going to follow along and create the pictures in your mind of what I'm asking you to create. Okay, and I start kind of slow. I speed up, it gets faster and faster. So let's just begin. Okay. So close your eyes. And let me say also that when we start any exercise, I always ask people to sit back, relax, and breathe. Take a deep breath all the way down to your belly. Let your belly stick out and let it, let it fill with air. And then your torso should fill, and then your chest and your armpits, you should feel everything expand. And then you blow it out kind of through pursed lips, not real hard. You're not trying to blow up a balloon here. You're just trying to let the air exit. And then you take a second real deep breath. Same thing. Try to feel it all the way down through your thighs, the calves of your legs, your feet. The trunk of your body. And then blow it out. And then a third breath, same thing. Breathe in. All the way down. Feel your legs, your feet. Feel your torso, your abdomen, your chest, your shoulders. Blow it out. And then just breathe naturally. Just close your eyes and relax and breathe naturally. And imagine that you are looking at a rose. Now, if you have a difficult time visualizing, then just pretend that you're visualizing, okay? Don't get all upset or bent out of shape if you don't have a very good visual capacity, okay? So imagine that you're looking at a red rose and make it a red rose. And notice how beautiful, notice the details, the petals, how they're kind of enfolded, and then change it to a pink rose. Enjoy that pink rose for a moment, and then change it to a yellow rose. And then change it to a white rose. Beautiful white rose, no blemishes. And then a blue rose. See it as a blue rose. And then change it to a black rose. And then change it to a green rose. And then make it a plaid rose. And then a striped rose. And then a rose with polka dots. And then a rose made out of gauze. And then one made out of copper. And then one made of diamond. And then see the green leaves on the rose plant. And see those leaves become small, flat, green fish. Watch those fish begin swimming in a pink sky. And then watch that sky become a lake. See that lake wearing a skirt and high heels. And then watch the lake pick up its skirt and begin to dance. See that dancing lake dissolve into screwdrivers. And watch those screwdrivers talking to one another. See words coming out of the screwdrivers, words falling to the ground and growing roots, roots that cry tears, and those tears fall up into the sky. See those tears turn into gold coins. Watch those gold coins become encased in clouds. See yourself reaching up into the clouds and retrieving those gold coins, and then putting the coins in your pocket. See those pockets become your lungs full of golden air. And then take a very long, deep breath and see that golden air fill your arteries and veins, coursing through your entire system. And then exhale. And when you exhale, see green roses coming out of your breath. And then relax for a moment and take another deep breath. And then envision a color and remember the color you envision. Envision a number and remember that number. See a bird in your mind's eye and remember the bird that you see. See an insect in your mind's eye and remember that insect. And then see an animal and remember that animal. And then rest a moment again, take another breath all the way down to your knees and your ankles and your toes. And then exhale. And then focus on your ears and your ability to hear. And as you focus on your ears, hear a trumpet playing. And then hear a dog whistle. Then hear that whistle become the hiss of a pressure cooker. Then hear the rumble of a truck going by. And then the sound of thunder. And then hear a waterfall roaring. Then hear the afterburners of a jet. And leaves rustling in the wind. Hear a cricket chirping. Hear someone typing on a computer keyboard. And then hear the ticking of a clock. Hear the breathing of a sleeping baby and the meow of a cat. Then hear an orchestra playing. Then hear that orchestra playing only with sticks of wood. Hear those sticks of wood begin shouting. Hear that shouting turn to screaming. Hear the screaming become rifle shots. Hear the rifle shots become a pounding on your front door. And hear that front door creak slowly as it opens. Then hear the creaking become the sound of water running along in a creek. Hear the water in the creek say something to you. Listen to what it says and remember what it says. Then hear a voice from the future make a statement. What is that statement? Remember what that statement is. And then hear yourself saying something 7 years from now. Remember what you are saying 7 years from now. And then take a deep breath and relax a moment. Breathe all the way down and breathe out through pursed lips. And then focus on feeling. Imagine you are outside on a very hot day, one of those days that you step out the door and the heat just wraps around you like a blanket. Feel that heat. And then feel that heat only on one side of your body as if you were sitting close to a campfire. Then feel that heat dissolve into freezing cold. Feel the difficulty of breathing air that is 20 degrees below zero. Feel yourself balancing along the top edge of a 100-story building. And then feel someone push you off the edge. Feel yourself falling through space. And feel yourself pretend you are an Olympic gymnast that will twist around and land on your feet. And then feel your feet, your back, your arms, the tissue behind your eyeballs, the space between your toes. Feel your hands and your fingernails. Feel those hands run themselves over a piece of sandpaper. And feel your feet buried in warm sand. Feel your body walking through the sand at the bottom of the ocean, breathing naturally. Feel your armpits expand as you take a breath. And feel yourself breathing heavily as you run through the woods. Feel yourself waking to your power. Feel yourself as you were at the age of 3. Feel your first sexual experience. Feel the moment you made a really tough decision. Feel your birth into this world. Then feel your whole self, body and mind, head to toe, inside and out. Then take another deep breath and relax a moment. And write down the answers to the following questions. I'll let you get some paper and pencil in case you, or maybe I'll have to pause the video for a moment. But once you have paper and pencil, write down the answer to these questions. Number 1, when I said, envision a color and remember the color, what color did you envision? Number 2, I asked you to envision a number. What number did you envision? Number 3, I said, okay, see a bird. What kind of bird did you see? Number 4, I said, see an insect. What was the insect? And number 5, to see an animal, what was the animal? Number 6, I said, hear the water in the creek say something to you. What did it say? I'll give you a moment to write down what that creek said, or what that water in the creek said. That's number 6. Hear the water in the creek say something to you. So write down what it said. And when you've written that down, number 7 is, or was, the directions to hear a voice from the future. Make a statement. What was that statement? Write it down. What was that statement that the voice from the future made? And number 8, it was directions to hear yourself saying or doing something 7 years from now. What were you saying? Hear yourself 7 years from now. Did you hear yourself saying something, or did you hear yourself doing something? Or did you hear people around you, or hear events around you? What did you hear 7 years from now? Write that down. Okay. So those are the questions. Now that you've written everything down, let's go back and look at what these things indicate. So number 1, envisioning a color. That color represents your banner, your flag, or your shield color. Okay, number 1, the color was your banner, your flag, or shield color. It's a protective color for you. Number 2, I said, write down a number. that number is your true age. So whether you were 2 or 200 or 25,000 years old, whatever the number was, that's your true age. It's kind of a look at, are you an old soul or are you a young soul who's up and coming? Number 3, the bird, that bird is your bird mascot. All of the characteristics of that bird, strengths, abilities are yours. Number 4 was an insect, and that is your insect mascot. Insects are so important. I know they bug, literally, no pun intended. They bug a lot of people, but insects are really important. Number 5 was see an animal. That animal is your primary totem or power animal. And number 6, hear the water in the creek say something to you. That's a message from your true self. A message from your true self. And it's coming to you at this point in time. Take heed, okay? That's the water in the creek saying something to you. A message from your true self. Number 7 was hear a voice from the future. Make a statement. And that's a gift of insight. A gift of insight from yourself to the world. Okay, keep that in mind. And the last one, hear yourself saying or doing something 7 years from now. That's a quick insight into your future. Okay? So now let's review for just a moment. We started with seeing, see a rose, and then see the leaves on the rose, and then see those leaves become fish, and so on and so on. And then the third portion of this, we moved to feeling. So which of these was easiest for you? Was it easiest for you to visualize, to hear, or to feel? Okay? Whatever was easiest for you is a message to you about your primary channel of information, the channel that you use the most often and trust the most. Okay? So information is coming to us from so many directions. And feeling is primary, auditory or hearing is second, and vision is third. But a lot of people are primarily visual, which means they have been able to abstract themselves a little bit. So more on that later. Whatever was the easiest for you is your primary channel that you trust the most. Okay, was there anything you simply could not see, hear, or feel? And, I've done this exercise for many years, and people often will say, well, I had a hard time seeing the screwdrivers or envisioning, the switch to the screwdrivers. Some people will say just point blank, I had a hard time feeling any of the things that you were saying. So they are divorced from their feeling a little bit. And what I want you to think about, if that's the case, is practice feeling. Allow yourself to feel. It maybe doesn't happen overnight, but it's really very valuable. Okay, you're feeling every day. Don't cut that off. Don't shut that out because you think it's inappropriate or you don't know how to respond, or all those reasons why people shut off feeling. Was there anything you were afraid to see, hear, or feel? Sometimes people say, I didn't want this, I didn't want to see that, I didn't want to hear such and such. They didn't want to hear something, some portion of this, or they didn't want to feel some direction. So that just kind of indicates some of where some of your boundaries are at this point in time. And the last thing I would say is make notes of all of this and keep these, your results to this exercise in your notebook. Okay? This is called the Rose, the Trumpet, and the Hot Day experience. And it's the first exercise to reveal to you what are you strongest in, visualizing, hearing, or feeling, which will tell you whether you're more clairvoyant, clairaudient, or clairsentient, and what you trust the most. So, okay, that is really the end of this exercise. It's kind of short and sweet, but it's pretty powerful. Okay.